And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. Now there's one word out there that exists that has 4 letters, and a word that I don't ever used on this channel until now. That word is hope. It's finally happened. The Van Gogh promos from Pokemon Center, the ones that I was not able to get because even though I got my orders back, 8 Fusion Strike packs in 2 different orders, 16 packs total, 8 and 8 came with no promos. But there's hope. I did get an email today for both orders that my promos are going to be shipped separately. Hope. I can't believe it. I did get 2 of my other orders, so at least now, at least own these. I can look at them. It is a real card. It's not Fugazi. It's not make-believe. It's real. I own them, but these aren't the other ones. But, if any of you guys are having this issue, I could just tell you what I did. I don't know if what I did worked and what other people did didn't work. I've heard a lot of different stories about this Van Gogh Pikachu with a gray felt hat. Oh, I didn't even wear my felt hat. What am I doing? I'm a rookie. Oh, I screwed up on this one. But, timeout. I'm sorry. I messed up that one. You know what? I can't believe it. I didn't have the hat on, and I was going to talk about freaking Pikachu with gray felt hat promos. I fucked up. I'm sorry for everybody out there. Apologies. But, I could just tell you what I did with those promos. So, I reached out to Pokemon Center customer support. I gave them both my order numbers. I said I didn't get promos in both these. It was hard to get through the customer support. I did it through the live chat, but it worked. Let's see. But there's hope, man. There's definitely hope left in this hobby that I was actually able to get an email. It seems like they're going to send them separately. So that now accounts for 4 of my 5 orders. My 5th order, I got a shipping confirmation from it, and I looked at it, and I looked at what's in it. It's 2 Fusion Strike 3-pack blisters, and 2, I don't even remember how many, maybe it was 2 or 3 of the single packs in order to get it above $30. I think it was 2. And it doesn't seem like the Pikachu promo's in there either. But I have hope. Hope. And, you know, to be honest with you, like, just the word hope in this hobby, I think it does mean a lot. When you think about it, and honestly, think about it, hope. You know, constantly in this hobby, you know, I think a lot of people, and myself 100% included, we pretend like we know more than we actually know in the hobby, or at least pretend like we know what's going to happen, because at the end of the day, in reality, nobody really knows. Like, we could take educated guesses. We can look at the past and say, how have stuff played out in the past? How has Pokemon rolled out stuff in the past? How has Pokemon interacted with certain things in the past? But every time can be different. So we just hope we guess right. We just hope that we could guess the next step. We could hope that we could plan the next crazy thing that goes nuts, the next boom. But in reality, that's all that is. It's hope. But it's nice to keep that hope in this hobby. And I had a live all planned out for tonight where I was just going to rant about how Pokemon Center is just terrible. And we could do a little bit of, like, what the obvious is. And I think I mentioned this on other lives. This is the problem with what's going on with Pokemon Center. And I'm going to say this, and I think a lot of people out there are going to give me a lot of pushback for this. But I believe that out of the 1,000 people or whatever that watch this video when it's all said and done, and the dust settles and this video gets lost on my channel with 100 other lives after it, all an hour apiece, and this live is just lost in the annals of time. Out of the 1,000 people watching this video, I honestly believe that any of those 1,000 people could be a consultant for Pokemon today and could have planned out this release better than Pokemon actually planned it out. That is crazy when you think about it. Pokemon is not a $100 company. It's not a $1,000 company. It's not a $100,000 company. It's not a $1 million company. It's a $1 billion company. And yet, a lot of this stuff keeps happening release after release. And it did seem like they figured out some of the stuff with the special delivery Charizard, at least the way that that promo was released, meaning they sent you codes. They did multiple waves. Remember, there was 12 different waves of that special delivery Charizard code, and anybody who wanted it literally had a chance to get that card. But like the big problem there was a lot of people were able to bot that system, and then there was people that just got hundreds to thousands of those codes, and then we saw all the people on the secondary market selling those codes on eBay for like $5-10 a piece. I think the cheapest I ever saw was like at the very end they were $2.99 a piece, but the people that were selling them in quantities of 100, meaning they had hundreds available because they had botted whatever program that was in order to get the special delivery Charizard code. And think of how much money those people made, because the special delivery Charizard, you have to at least spend $20 on Pokemon Center in order to redeem the code. The people selling that code, they didn't have to do shit. All they had to do was literally get paid by you and send you a code. So those people cleaned up. And I don't even know how hard that program is to write. For me, I'm not computer literate at all. It would be impossible. But for somebody who's actually like computer literate, it was probably just a couple lines of code that they were able to do, making a bunch of email accounts and getting a bunch of those codes, and then being able, however they are able to extract them, and then doing all this stuff. Those people probably made tens of thousands of dollars just for doing no work, more or less. So, but that's still a problem too. That is maybe just Pokemon dropping the ball there. I would like to just see Pokemon do a rollout where they just send codes to everybody who has a Pokemon Center account. Like, is it that hard? How many Pokemon Center accounts are there? We know for a fact that Pokemon Center has the ability to send out mass emails. I get mass emails all the time. Recently, when the Halloween merch dropped, I just recently got another PokemonCenter.com email talking about when the Christmas stuff was dropping. How hard it is just to send out an email to every single one of your like Pokemon Center members and just say, here's your code. This is your one-time use code. All you got to do is spend $20, $30 on PokemonCenter.com, and you will get whatever the next promo is. And then they will, at least when they go, start up the printers and get prepared to send out those codes, because they will know ahead of time. They'll know how many members they have. Well, how many people are currently registered on PokemonCenter.com? I'm sure they know that number. Let's say it's 1 million people. There are currently a million active registered users on the Pokemon Center. Okay, so let's print 1,100,000 of those cards. Let's go 10% higher, just in case there's any issues. We still give ourselves like a 10% buffer, and that 100,000. So within the time those cards are printed, and in case anything's damaged, it gives us like 10% extra of those cards. And then after that 10%, if there's any left over, then we could just throw them out randomly in random orders. Like, no reason behind it. It's just how it is. And then that would be a solution to that, because at that point you're print to order, because you at least know how many members. And is every single one, let's say there's 1 million Pokemon Center members, is every single member going to redeem their code? No, of course not. Like, not every single member gets their emails, but at least if they're interested in it, and then people will be like, how did you get that code? And be like, oh, Pokemon Center would have sent you an email to your whatever email account you have on file, giving you your code. And then people would be like, oh, okay, all I'll do is go check my email. Oh, check my email, there's the code. If I don't see it in my main inbox, I check my spam folder. Oh, there's it is in my spam folder. It's like that simple. But I don't know why Pokemon feels they need to like constantly complicate things. And for that, I never really have like a perfect answer for. And another like terrible thing about PokemonCenter.com that, in 2020, one of the items first of all, in 2020, like any sort of TCG product sold out. But I remember when like the 25th anniversary Bear Walker skateboards came out? Yes, everybody knows recently, like the skateboards that just came out, and, the mystery bag skateboards, and everybody lost their minds about them. But that's not the first time we've seen people lose their mind about skateboards. Like, even going back to 2020, with the release of that Pikachu 25th anniversary Bear Walker skateboard, like, there was a lot of hype behind that. Pokemon Center was crashing. Anytime PokemonCenter.com would have releases of new TCG products, they were sold out instantly. Those things were getting botted, and that was why accounts like Pokemon TCG Drops, like, they grew out of that need because people just couldn't watch Pokemon Center 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just waiting, literally waiting for stuff to like become available. It just became impossible. So people like him were able to pick up and then ended up getting huge followings. And that was a lot of what his day-to-day role was literally just saying PokemonCenter.com now has Team Up blister packs up. It now has Lost Thunder ETBs up, or whatever that product that was randomly dropping was. And like that helped out a lot of people. And in 2020, we kind of gave PokemonCenter.com a pass. And it wasn't a pass we wanted to give them, but we understood, like, okay, we see it. The hype has come into Pokemon. This website was not designed with this sort of, like, you know, buyout, like, thought. And okay, I get it. You're going to need time, PokemonCenter.com, to build up an infrastructure, build up your IT team, maybe get some more server space or whatever it's going to be required in order to keep that website from crashing, from keep people from getting like blocked all the time, because PokemonCenter.com could be as easy to get blocked on. You type into Google PokemonCenter.com, you get the top link, you click on that link. As soon as you click on it, you just get a nice little banner that says you're blocked. Like, it's bad, but, you know, in 2020, we were giving them passes. We're like, it's going to get better. Pokemon Center will figure out what they are doing wrong. And, I mean, they got a lot of heat in 2020. They got a lot of heat in 2021. People knew it was an issue, but it was like, okay, this will all change. Give it a month. Give it 10 months. Give it a year. Now, here we are sitting in October 2023, and has anything changed? And not only you could ask the question, has anything changed? More importantly, you could even make the statement that not only has stuff not changed, things have actually gotten worse. And by what I mean by worse is, at least when you were trying to pick up product, you could at least go to the actual page and try to click on that product, and you couldn't, you know, actually buy it. With like the Van Gogh releases was worse because they were sold out before they even went live. That is not a good look. Like, and yes, for a lot of people watching this channel, a lot of people active on Twitter, a lot of people active on Instagram or different Discord groups, you were able to get in because you had direct links to these items. So you were able to bypass like PokemonCenter.com and like their actual search term, because even when people were able to pick up these items before they actually technically went live, if you typed in Van Gogh into the search bar, you got 0 results. But because people had direct links, and then it was as simple as the direct link and then the SKU number at the end, and if you could just change the last number up 1 or down 1, it would bring you to like the next SKU or the SKU before in line, so people are able to just do backdoor workarounds for it. But that's worse. That is literally worse, meaning things have gotten worse on PokemonCenter.com. And the fact of the matter is this won't be the last, you know, popular item to ever be released by Pokemon from now until the end of days. It's actually the complete opposite. This Van Gogh Pikachu will just be, in the future, will be a blip on the radar. The same way we talk about Special Delivery Charizards. At the time, Special Delivery Charizards were a very, very big deal. Before those promo codes became like available, Special Delivery Charizard was even a bigger deal because there was only like 3. They were potentially stolen out of the factory. People saw them on like non-mainstream like auction platforms, selling for crazy dollar amounts, you know, like, but now like people kind of just look back on that like, okay, you know, Special Delivery Pikachu at the time, it was a big deal, but I always make the joke that a lot of people, even though it was available, didn't pick it up. That's sort of just a blip on the radar. You know, a lot of the 25th anniversary Pikachu Bear Walker skateboard that I mentioned earlier, that's just a blip on the radar. Like these things, even though at the time they might have seemed like a big deal and everybody was talking about it in the moment, but in the future, given enough time, that's all they become. They become little blips on the radar. Or the same way as, you know, certain Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs. You know, you think of like the the ones that people really went hard after. The Crown Zenith ETBs or the Celebration ETBs, and how crazy it was at the time. But or a perfect example of an item that on PokemonCenter.com people were talking about all the time because it was one of the very, very few ways to get it at MSRP was the Celebrations UPC. Do you remember that? Like, trying to pick up Celebration UPCs on PokemonCenter.com and not being able to do it. But as time goes by, like, those are just little blips on the radar. And this Pikachu in a gray felt hat, this is not the last blip on that radar. This is just one of many. And the problem is there's going to be many more of these to come. Not exactly Pikachu with gray felt hat cards in particular. Maybe they come back, maybe they don't, because hell if I know. I mean, I don't have it in. I wish I did. I would know that card being released, but I don't know. But there will be a card like this with some sort of crazy hype behind it that comes in the future, and we're probably going to run into the same issue. And the worst problem with PokemonCenter.com is I have alerts on my phone for Pokemon TCG drops. He was the one that tweeted this out. If he doesn't tweet that out, I don't get the alert on my phone. I don't know that original Van Gogh merch promo was released. I never purchased it. If somebody didn't message me through Discord and then for the second waves and be like, hey PK, if you spend $30 on PokemonCenter.com, now's your opportunity. If somebody doesn't message that to me, I miss that. And it's not like it's this gigantic window of time. I keep going back and talking about the Special Delivery Pikachu. Special Delivery Pikachu is available for 7 days, an entire week. These Van Gogh promos now, the first release, were technically sold out before they were even available on PokemonCenter.com. So you can say they had a total availability time of 0 minutes. At least for the second wave, it was an hour. And it's in such a sad way that so many people out there were successful in getting these Pikachu in gray felt hat promos because of that hour window. And the saddest part of that is, and I mean this, is that people look at an hour window where they were able to purchase that card and they're like, they talk about it positively. Like, at least we had an hour. At least I had a chance this time. Because the problem is so many times when these releases drop, like, people don't even have a chance to get it. There's not an hour window. And that's gotta change. I mean, and when you peel back the layers and you look at the Pikachu and gray felt hat promo and you look at how long they're supposed to be available for, like the timeline that Pokemon originally like put out there, like the promos will be available until I forget what date they said, but was it January 1st or some end of November? I don't know. It was some preposterously long date, and we're talking, they said it was potentially going to be available for months or until, there's always that caveat, that last line, or until supplies last. And but I mean, really, like, supplies only last for 1 hour. 1 hour of, and it brings up a lot of questions too. And these are the questions that we struggle with, that I struggle with all the time, is how much, first of all, what is Pokemon? Peel back everything that we think they are. The video games, the IP, the characters, the TCG, the plushies, I don't know, there's so many things that have the Pokemon IP on it, whether it's, bed sheets or playmats or lamps or whatever. You name it, there's probably some product that has Pikachu's face on it because they have a million different products. But that's not what Pokemon is. They're not individual products. Pokemon is a company, and the company's job is to make revenue and to show profit. So the thing that I struggle with above all others is Pokemon can make so much money if they wanted to, and not just make money, like creating more promos or more things that are like limited releases, just creating greater quantities of it. It's a win-win because not only does Pokemon make more money, they also at least make their customer happy. And the reason they make their customer happy is because they could at least pick it up. Now, for the investor boy in me or whatever, like the flipper in me, or the collector, investor, whatever, stonker, whatever you want to call me on whatever day of the week, sure. For that person, I like the thought of limited releases, because limited releases like give me a lot of opportunities to do things with those cards outside of just maybe sticking them in a binder. It allows me to interact with those cards at a different level, and a level that I like to interact with stuff. I like to interact with stuff with the speculating, with the grading, with the flipping, with the selling. That's how I like to interact with a lot of things in Pokemon. That's what makes me happy. But what also, like, so, yes, from that side of me, it makes me happy for limited releases. But for the common sense part of me, or the common sense where I think if somebody wants something, they should have the opportunity to get it, I just don't understand why Pokemon's not doing it. And a card like Pikachu and Gray Felt Hat, or a card more importantly like Special Delivery Bidoof. Think about how extremely limited Special Delivery Bidoofs were. And in fact, not only were Special Delivery Bidoofs limited, they're still selling for such a crazy premium because of how limited they were. But that was not a card that people didn't want. It was just a card that people never had the option to get. And I don't know why Pokemon as this business is deciding time after time to like make these things super limited or underprint them. I don't see it. I don't know what the end goal is. Unless Pokemon is doing things in like a more, I hate to use the word malicious, but like if they're doing it in a more malicious way where Pokemon is super, super, super crazy next level, like hyper aware of the secondary market and the things that they are doing, they're purposely manipulating releases in order to make things explode on secondary market, because when you make things explode on the secondary market, you create hype and you create FOMO around products. And we've seen it with cards like the Pikachu with the Gray Felt Hat promo. There's a reason why there was news articles and stuff written about that card because of how crazy it was. When I say news articles, I'm not talking New York Times news articles, but I'm talking new articles on like different gaming forums or things that might not otherwise pick up Pokemon. That is like evil genius type secondary market. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's like Pokemon's plan. I do a little bit believe that like Pokemon is at least semi-aware of the secondary market prices, but I think that Pokemon is so busy just kind of like going down the train tracks that it's a freight train and they're not stopping for anybody. They're not kind of looking in the rearview mirror for a lot of stuff. But that's like going back now. So to go back and do reprints and stuff where I say they're going down the railroad tracks and they're not stopping. But for our initial releases, I don't know why they're continuing to make things so limited over and over and over again. I'm seeing like the full art posters and stuff, or paintings or whatever they are, selling for like, for the set of them, selling for greater than $1,000. That's like a $50 poster. Not a poster, like not the actual posters, but like the canvas painting things. They're like $50 on Pokemon Center. If you got a full like the full all of them, you could sell them for greater than $1,000. It's like, I don't think that's Pokemon's plan. Like, I don't think they want stuff to be massively more expensive as soon as it's released. I just don't get it, though. Is it just... And at the time in 2020, 2021, when we were just coming out of the pandemic and everything, it was very easy to say, like, well, why is all this stuff happening? Why is all this stuff, short printed and stuff? And then everybody was able to do an easy finger point. And the easy finger point was, oh, well... The reason why all this stuff is going on, because it's the pandemic and everything is just unavailable. Like, they don't have the resources. They don't have the raw materials because everything is shut down. They can't source any of the actual materials needed to create this stuff. And that was the excuse during the pandemic. But we are far removed from the pandemic. Like, so that argument of you just can't source the materials to get it and all that, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why. Unless Pokemon is seeing something we are not seeing. Like, we don't have total transparency for their books. Like, maybe they're seeing a downturn. Maybe they are seeing like product being sold less on PokemonCenter.com. Maybe they're seeing like distribution requesting lower supplies of certain items, where Pokemon is saying, okay, The indicators are here that this market is potentially slowing. So if this market is potentially slowing, we have to stay ahead of that potential slowdown. And we can't flood the market with a ton of this product, but maybe they're like overestimating how big that pullback was actually going to be. And then they ended up underprinting. I don't know. There's just so many what the hells are going on kind of things. I don't have the answer for that, and I'm about to read the chat in a second and like see what you guys think and like what is Pokemon's thought process, but I don't understand. Like, and then for like Pokemon with the gray felt hat promos to be sending out people's orders and not including the promos. And then I know there was a lot of like hearsay here and there of like emails people got from customer support saying that while you bought the product, the promo was actually sold out, and through our terms and service, like you're actually not like guaranteed that promo. It's an add-on, and so because it's a TCG product, we are not accepting returns on that. Like I did see emails for that, but because that wasn't the experience that I had, I can't really say that those emails were maybe true, or if maybe there was follow-up emails to that where those people actually ended up getting the promos in the, you know, like after the fact. But the crazy thing is, if that was the case, and that was like a very clear lie from Pokemon that they actually didn't sell out of those promos, and maybe it was just like a back end issue, because at this point I already did my rant about like the IT and the actual infrastructure of PokemonCenter.com, but there's something going on that's just terrible. All right, I did my rant. I have to, I'm doing my best to keep lives under a half hour, so I want to go look at the chat. I don't know how he does it, but every time, number one mod in the game, Drew, always somehow is the first one in the chat. Drew, appreciate you, my friend, and you are truly the number one mod. And I can't wait till I've never met Drew in person. I've met Drew like over video calls, whether it's through the Rattle Discord. I was on Professor Oak's channel one time with an interview. Drew was on there with Cheval's basic trainer. And I've got to like talk to Drew on multiple occasions. I've messaged him many times, but like an actual like in-person one-on-one, like face-to-face, I've never met Drew. So I do look forward to that day in the future. And it does look like I might have my chance next year because there's 2 events going on. But the problem is they're like back-to-back. You have the Orlando Collecticon, and then you have the Card Party Collecticon. Or not Card Party Collecticon, but just Card Party. But they're like really close to each other, and I think Drew is either going to potentially one of them. I don't think he's going to both of them, but I haven't got an invite to Card Party. So, Pat Flynn, you're out there, my friend. You're watching this. You're lurking. Feel free to slide into my DMs, man. If I get an invite to Card Party, I'll be there. But if I don't get an invite to Card Party, I'd probably end up just going to the Collecticon. But even that is tough. Ooh, Orlando in the summer, because then isn't it like June? Oh, it's gonna be brutal. But either way, Flip Flap Card says PK and Van Gogh. Yeah. Colmanian said, "What time are you starting?" I started at 10:27. I know I'm not very good at like giving you guys heads up, but I was waiting for Mr. Dan Catch 'em All Collectibles. I wanted to wait for his live to be over before I started mine. Flip Flap Card says, "The banner tells me you got a positive response." I did. So I got my 2 from 2 of my 5 orders, and then the 2 that I didn't get the promos for, I got the shipping confirmations that those 2 promos are coming as well. And now that 5th order, I do have a feeling that it's not going to be in there, and I'm going to have to do this whole process again. But it goes back to the title of this video. Hope. I at least have hope that I'm going to get these cards. Jumble Fits, good to see ya. We got Chef954. Chef's always up to stuff. It's funny, I hadn't really seen Chef much, but after Charlotte Collecticon, I see Chef all the time. Always good to see Chef. Looking at the chat, you guys are funny. Tom B said restart the live because I didn't have the felt hat on. Yeah, that was a huge mistake by me. Rookie mistake. Fresh Tat says, "Are those Pikachu ears from the Happy Meal box?" 100% they are from the Happy Meal box. I'm glad you at least caught on. Not My Chair says, "Is the inside of the hat tinfoil lined?" Yes. And so every hat I have is tinfoil lined. That's a great, I think, Not My Chair, that is a great one-liner. Let's see. Trapper Paul said episode 4, New Hope. Yes, we are. It is a new hope. Um, Not My Chair said this man was the realest dude in the room at Collecticon Charlotte. Appreciate you if you're talking about me. I don't know who you're talking about, unless you're talking about Chef, because Chef was also in the room. Um, Basic Trainer said I would have told them to collab with MetaZoo and add a Van Gogh Pika with every MetaZoo booster box purchase. Oh, what? Basic Trainer, you could wish. I gotta ask you, Basic, is MetaZoo still a thing? I mean, I know it's a thing, but is it still a thing? Like MetaZoo, is that a thing? Like when you remove yourself out of this YouTube sphere, like this little group of people, is MetaZoo still a thing? Have you ever like in your normal life like walked up to somebody and they're like, "What do you do?" You're like, "Oh, I play MetaZoo," and that person was like, "I know what MetaZoo is." Come on, Basic. Do you? Because I don't think you do. But I don't know. MetaZoo, they did their Hello Kitty collab. That was supposed to be the collab to like save the day, bring back that dying IP, which is MetaZoo, and teaming up with a IP that I thought was also dead. Like you just put two IPs together. You put a dying MetaZoo with a dying Hello Kitty, and I know everybody's gonna come down in the comment section and be like, "Hello Kitty is the second biggest IP in the world." I don't care. Don't care. Hello Kitty. I think of like, I don't know, Hot Topic in the mall. Like that was the last time you will see Hello Kitty merch is at Hot Topic. And when was the last time you've been in a Hot Topic, first of all? And then second of all, what was the last time you were in a mall? I'm waiting. Anybody? No, it's been a while, huh? So like that is my only knowledge of Hello Kitty. Like even as a kid, I don't remember Hello Kitty TV shows or anything. I know it's probably a bigger IP in other parts of the world, but I just think I don't know. But that, again, gotta get my little jabs at Basic Trainer and MetaZoo. Basic's just out there watching this video, shaking his head. Uh, I love you, Basic. I'm only messing with you, my friend. Uh, Not My Chair said bots on eBay can be bought for like $20. Don't tell people out there, because then eventually all the bots will be bought up. Uh, let's see. Trapper said yes, but the margin on printing that isn't the same as making a hell of a lot less. I don't know what he's asking. Is he talking about the promos? I might have missed something. Uh, let's see. PA Pokemon Poll says, I love the rants and the channel, so please don't take the wrong way, but it's kind of beating a dead horse. Pokemon listened to us for the first time and gave us all another chance. They gave us all another chance for 1 hour. That is not another chance. I mean, it's kind of a chance, but I don't want to like throw Pokemon too big of a lifeline and be like, okay, they did this like huge favor for us. They allowed this card to be up for 1 hour one other time. Like, I guess like if you're a glass half full type person, then yeah, that is you can make that argument. That Pokemon did give us a second chance with this promo because they at least allowed it to be up. And I mean, Pokemon went out of their way. They did that original initial press release. Like, there will be another opportunity to get this promo. Like, they made it very clear. They said you would have to spend $30. They already, like, put out what the exact conditions were. And then, yeah, they did give us an hour. So, if you are glass half full, you are correct. They gave us all the information we needed, and they did exactly word for word what they said they would do. So, PA Pokemon polls, you are correct in that sense. I will give you that. XP said, I didn't reach out to the Pokemon Center for the promos missing, and he still got the email that they were sending the promos. Good. XP, I'm glad you typed that, so that's a little bit of like confirmation that you don't potentially have to reach out to PokemonCenter.com, and maybe they just realized that they messed up. But gotta ask yourself the question. I don't want to shit on PokemonCenter.com because we just kind of shit, or I just kind of shit on them for like the first half of this video. But like, how do you make that sort of logistic mistake in the start? Because it's not like all these packages and all these hundreds and thousands of orders that were potentially sent out without these promos. It's not like every single one of those packages was printed by the same person. Or not printed, packaged by the same person. So how do you make that egregious of a mistake? I mean, and nobody catches it. There's like no, I guess there's probably no quality control when it comes to individual packages, but there's nobody walking the floor, nobody working there is like, hey, by the way, we got all these orders in that all look identical, and were these supposed to have a promo? Because none of the packing slips had a promo. There's like nobody there was able to just raise their hand. Who knows? That might be asking for too much too. So Trapper says, company is going to do what makes them the most money. Hype helps sell a bunch of stuff right now. That makes sense. A company's going to do what makes them the most money, but if they created a million more of these promos, they could have made a lot more money too. But they chose not to, I guess. And Giovanni Pikachu said, how about those Fusion Strike tins, though? I didn't buy... Are there Fusion Strike tins? I don't have any Fusion Strike tins. I have Fusion Strike packs. Should we do a Fusion Strike opening? I don't have any Fusion Strike like close by. Yeah, I don't even have any packs near me. Well, I do have one pack near me. We have this pack, but this is not a Fusion Strike pack. This is an Astral Radiance pack. Do I have to do what was her name? Snee? How she just kept shaking the packs, like, to see if they're resealed? Do you remember that video? Well, we could do that. Do I have to show this? You know, I don't even want to open this because I'm going to tell you right now, if it's a pack on my channel, it's probably like 100% resealed, even if it is next to me. So we'll do a little pack opening. There's a code card. Is it at least an Astral Radiance code? Let's see. Let's see. What do we got in here? Oh, it's a Rattle Sucks Blasty Rules card. See, this is the problem. Every pack that I own is going to be resealed. It will never be a legit opening on this channel. I'm sorry. It'll be a cold day in hell before I open a legit pack on this channel. Anyways, back to the chat. Sonic said, I got an order in the first wave with Sunflower sleeves and promos in cart. Sleeves showed out of stock at confirmation page, but promo in stock. They sent me random packs I'd put in for free shipping, but no promo. Oh, yeah, that's brutal. That's not fair. Let's see. Let's see. Sonic said, reach out to support, and it took them weeks to respond to him. Day after second wave dropped, in fact, and they basically said, tough luck. They sold out. You aren't getting any. Yeah, that sucks. Dude, I had so many things in my cart for that initial wave of the Van Gogh stuff. Like, I had the sleeves, I had the posters, I had everything in my cart at one point. I even had the mugs in my cart, and I just wasn't able to check out anything, man. But I already did that rant many, many a time. Let's see. Sonic said, based on what support told me, they have no plans as of now to reprint the promo, and they are indeed sold through right now. I want to say I could believe PokemonCenter.com, but I don't believe Pokemon Center, a word that they say. Basic Trainer, he's in the chat. He's lurking. He knew I was talking about him and his lovely Metazoo. I love you, Basic Trainer. In a couple months, we're going to have Basic Trainer on because we do have to have our quarterly Basic Trainer update. Where in the world is not Carmen Sandiego? Where in the world is Basic Trainer? Because Basic's always doing cool stuff. So Basic Trainer said Metazoo will now be available at Hot Topic along with Clears. Let's see. From the 1 hour. Pokemon video said, PK, you got 3 from the 1 hour. It's 100% was good enough. I got 5 from the 1 hour. But yes, it was good enough. For me. Because I had alerts on my phone. But for some other person that might have just not had alerts on their phone, or they are not around their phone for that 1 hour, or potentially they were at work, or they just didn't have the time to like stop what they were doing to try to pick up five, like one of those promos on PokemonCenter.com. Like, it's not fair to them. And like, I see that. Like, I'm not blind to that fact. Yeah. uh, Drew said, rattle sucks, blast two rules. uh, let's see. Uh, Look at that. Number one mod in the game said number one basic trainer, yeah. I like you guys. Chat's funny. Alright, guys. Listen, I was going to keep it under 30 minutes, and I did what I do best. I overshot that by 10 minutes. We are now at 40 minutes, but hey, I just want to make a short live tonight. There'll be another live tomorrow, so no time yet. I'll let you know. It's just going to happen when it happens. There's a couple people that are going to be hopping on the channel in the very near term too. Some people I still got to reach out to, and because there's some people out there that have some pretty cool stories that I want them to be able to tell their stories to a pretty big audience, because it's stuff I talk about on a daily basis. So you'll find out what I mean by that. I know that's a little cryptic right now. No pun intended, Mr. Basic Trainer MetaZoo with the cryptic, but it is what it is. As always, guys, appreciate every single one of you. I don't ask for much. If you do me one solid before you leave, just hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to this channel, you somehow made it to the end of a 41-minute crazy rant, then hit that subscribe button. If not, it is what it is. I'll cry myself to sleep. Appreciate every single one of you, and I'll catch you on the next video.